How I turned 23 rejections from colleges into 15 acceptances, including Ivy League ones. So this is me, back in 2023, when I received my 23 rejections from all of the colleges that I applied for. So back then I was from small town in Kazakhstan. I think the population was roughly around 100,000 people or something. I didn't have any rich parents who could finance my study in the US colleges. I didn't have any APs because our school just didn't provide ones. I didn't have any big SAT scores, and I didn't have like super big wins in the Olympiads and etc. So I was just an ordinary average guy that is applying to the US colleges nowadays. But still, I nowadays think that rejections are normal. Like I had 23 of them, and the truth is back then I was really disappointed about the results that I got. But I didn't stop there and landed 15 acceptances from top universities, including the Ivy League ones, in 2024. So yeah, basically I took a gap year in Kazakhstan. I analyzed my application, I looked it over, and then I made it better, and then applied the next year and got admitted. Nowadays I've helped 623 students do the same. So there are even students who got into the Ivy League as well. So the stats of my college admissions consulting, you can see here, more than 600 offers from universities, and more than 60 summer programs. I mean, offers from summer programs. And yeah, as I mentioned, there are some students who even got into the Ivy League, including, I think, Cornell, Columbia, Yale, and etc. So here's exactly how you can avoid my mistakes and replicate my wins. So what exactly I did to reapply the next year and get the admission. So let's straight jump into it. Mistake number one, asking famous professors who barely knew me for recommendation letters. So this is not only my mistake, I see it nowadays from many high schoolers, because they think that the more prestigious, the more expert the professor is, the more value that it holds for recommendation letters. And I mean, it is true. Like if you get a recommendation letter from Elon Musk or etc., then certainly it is going to be of a better value than some average teacher from high school. But still, the difference here is that quality is more important. I mean, the content of the recommendation letter is more important than the person who's writing it. So this is the mistake that I've been doing in my first year. So what is the problem with asking very famous professors for recommendation letters is that they probably don't know you well. They probably haven't done any good research, or they haven't gotten to know you better, or anything that would provide any real insights into who you really are. And obviously they're probably not gonna risk their authority and write some shit or lie in the recommendation letter. So they're just gonna produce some generic rec letters. For example, like he was a good student, he used to be a very good employee, or something like that, without any real value. But the real value is exactly what admissions officers are looking for. So the solution here is ask teachers who know you deeply. So the teachers might not be so expert, they might not be so famous or etc., but the content of the recommendation letters that they are going to provide is far more important than the ones who are very famous or etc. So in my experience, the teachers who know you very well, they're gonna provide personal, vivid letters, and that is, just trust me, that is so much better than dull, average recommendation letters. So pro tip here is create a brag sheet for recommenders. So you could list your achievements, you could list your values or stories and etc. So why is it helpful? Firstly, because it's going to make it easier for the recommender to write a recommendation letter. So you get your recommendation letter far sooner and you'll have more time to analyze it, to rewrite it if necessary, and etc. And secondly, I think it's more important, is you're going to orchestrate the whole process of writing the recommendation letter. So there are many situations where you ask several recommenders, 3 or 4, and when you don't provide them a brag sheet, then the content might overlap. All of them might be talking about the same Olympiads, the same values, the same stories, and it doesn't really give any real insights to the admissions officer when 3 or 4 recommenders are talking all about the same thing. So do really make a research about writing a brag sheet or creating one for your recommenders. Example of a great recommendation letter is here. So what would the professor who doesn't know you well would write is something like, John is hardworking, or etc. Super dull, super average. I mean, I could even write you this kind of rec letters and etc. What is far better is stating some kind of stories that reflect some kind of values or maybe ideas that you reflect throughout your application. So for instance, John stayed 3 nights fixing our lab equipment so the whole class could finish on time. So this kind of recommendation letter is far better than just ordinary, like John is hardworking, he's very smart, and etc. So action step that you can take right away is identify 2 teachers who know your character and not just your grades, and ask them right away this week if they can be your recommenders. So mistake number 2, I think this is my deadliest mistake that I did in 2023 when I got 23 rejections from colleges. So it is believing that test optional means you don't need to take exams. So for a starter, it's almost 2025. It's going to be 2026 soon. The COVID hopefully is over, and not many colleges still practice test optional policy. And even the colleges that still practice this policy, just trust me, it doesn't mean any shit, because they still expect you to pass your SATs or ACTs and still expect that you would score really high on them. So just basically what happens when you don't send your SAT results is it just puts you in a very unfavorable condition. So without scores, you compete only on GPA, essays, and I forgot to write here extracurriculars and recommenders. So that is kind of risky, because if there's going to be competition between you and some sort of guy who scored 1500 on the SAT, then the winner of the scholarship or the winner of the admission is super obvious who's going to win it. So what I suggest is submit your score if it is within 25th or 75th percentile of target school. So how do you define it? You just go to Google or whatever browser you use. You just type in the name of your college, for instance, Harvard. You type in 25th, 75th percentile SAT scores, and you just check if your SAT score is within this range. And so if it is within, then I highly recommend that you should send your results. Retake, if you're close, for instance, 25th percentile of Harvard for this year might be something around 1520 or something. And if your score is 1500, then I would really recommend that you retake the SAT, because even a 50-point jump can shift you above median. research score ranges today. Decide if you should submit or retake. But still, if you have 3 or 4 months, I would highly recommend that you should retake your SAT or ACT scores. Mistake number 3, copy pasting the same Olympiad award in essays plus activities. So what that means is just writing the same shit all over throughout your application. So what is the problem with that is it looks one-dimensional. Admissions officers forget who you really are, and honestly, it doesn't really look well on the application when all you're talking about is one single thing. So what you need to be doing instead is show multiple sides, like leader, creator, volunteer, human, or something like that. Show different side of yours, show different qualities, values, and show yourself from different angles and positions. The example of that can be like captain of a soccer team, coding mentor for kids, or short film project, something like that. I mean, just don't restrain yourself into thinking that this guy is just super good at math and that's it. You should show yourself from different sides throughout your whole application. So what you can do right now is, as your homework, write down 3 dimensions of yourself you want the admissions to see. So that can be anything like different stories, maybe different values, maybe different hard skills that you possess, and etc. So we're coming to the 4th mistake that kind of helped me to get 23 rejections. Using essays as brag lists, and honestly, that is something I see nowadays. Like 95% of high schoolers do this mistake. So basically, how it starts with, I was passionate since childhood about something, for instance, engineering, and then all of a sudden they start to list their accomplishments, list their awards or honors in engineering. Like, I used to participate in this, I used to win this, and etc. So instead of going really deep into the story, instead of going personal, you should be going personal because it is a personal statement. But still, instead of going personal, they decide to like write about competitions, list the accomplishments that they did, and etc. I mean, what I usually tell is essays and recommendation letters are the only places where you can write stories. I mean, literally, essays and recommendation letters are the only places where you can show yourself as human beings, because everything else is just numbers, extracurriculars, SAT scores, ACT scores, GPA, and etc. Everything is just numbers, pure digits. And when you are using essays and recommendation letters to just list your other numbers, is gonna be super big mistake. So the problem with another problem with listing your awards is because it sounds super cliche. I mean, that is super boring for the admission officers. Essays should show change, conflict, growth. So in the essays, you should be reflecting on many things. Maybe something happened, or maybe you came to a realization, or maybe some kind of setbacks happened to you, and etc. So you should be going really deep, not just listing something from the surface. So instead of saying like, I love programming, I failed 3 hackathons, instead of saying like, I love programming, you should instead say something like, I failed 3 hackathons before finally shipping an app. So this uses the rule that I mentioned in my previous video about writing essays. So that means show, don't tell. But also what this does is it shows some kind of quality, some kind of value in you as a human being. So that is very important in the essays. Reflective depth. That is also what I talked about in my previous video. So the questions that you should ask yourself is, what belief changed? What principle guides me now? And etc. Everything that shows your growth, everything that shows that you as a human being possess some kind of values, or you have a brain to analyze, think over something that happened to you in your life. So what you can do right now is take one activity, write what it taught you about yourself. That is the homework for you for today, homework number 2. So just wrapping up everything, 3 fixes that turned rejection into acceptance for me. So firstly, I think the most important one for most of you is better recommenders. That means not quality recommenders, but quality recommendation letters themselves. Secondly, smarter testing strategy. So that means if you have a really high score on the SAT, or you have a potential to score really high on the SAT, then you definitely should go after it. And the third plus fourth is multidimensional plus human application. So be a human and show yourself from different angles. Rejections, for those of you who already face, who are taking gap year, or who are too scared of getting rejections. I mean, rejections are not the end. After all, I've received like 23 rejections. I still think that that was the best thing that happened to me, like honestly, because I had a time to think over everything that happened, and after all, everything is data. I mean, you have to take that data, analyze it, learn, adjust, and then you can win. So it is something that builds character. So you just shouldn't be afraid of rejections. So yeah, my 15 acceptances after 23 rejections. This should kind of inspire you, maybe to not be afraid of rejections, because as I mentioned, I think that is the best thing that happened to me. And also all the acceptances from my students, more than 600 students got admitted. And I think that is because of, well, of course, not because of only me. The students themselves were very smart. But still, I think I've developed some kind of strategy, some kind of social proof that my system is working. And what I'm sharing here for free with you is 100% working strategy, because more than 600 students got admitted to their dream schools. And for those of you who watched till this moment, I invite you all to join my free live day challenge on college admissions blueprint, where I will be sharing my exclusive knowledge. So everything that I share here on the YouTube is just 1% of everything that I know. And on the free live day challenge, which is not going to be for everyone, I will be sharing everything, I think everything that I know to this day about college admissions. So yeah, you'll learn narrative building, strategy design, rejection proofing your application, and so much more that I have personally learned from experience. Turn your rejections into acceptances, but hopefully you won't get any rejections. I hope. Link to the free live day challenge will be in the description below. So if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments. Otherwise, join the WhatsApp chat, and see you soon.